Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine the world of vintage radio-controlled cars for a second.
Right.
On one side, you had Associated Electronics. Pure speed, racing pedigree, the RC-10 buggy legend.
Total performance machines.
Then on the other side, Tamiya. Kind of quirky, lots of character, scale realism, and really focused on the fun of building the kit itself.
Absolutely. Two different worlds almost.
So here's the really interesting bit we're looking at today. rc10talk.com, a forum named for the Associated race car.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it just full of talk about Tamiya, its old rival? It seems like a paradox.
It does, yeah.
We've got some great sources you sent over that dig into this, how the home of a racing icon kind of became a sanctuary for its more whimsical competitor.
It's a fascinating story about online communities, really.
Let's explore how that happened and, what it tells us.
Okay, so the roots of this rivalry, they really go back to completely different philosophies right from the start. To me, it was all about, let's call it the art of the experience. The joy of the build itself, the amazing scale details, making it pretty accessible.
Right, for the enthusiast who loves the process.
Exactly. Whereas Associated Electronics, their thing was the legacy of performance. It was just about winning.
Function over form.
Totally. Things like their stealth transmission, groundbreaking stuff for speed. Their kits were tools for racers. Serious tools.
Kind of makes a lot of sense. So these fundamental differences, how did that shape their online spaces? Did you end up with totally separate digital clubhouses?
Pretty much, yeah. The sources show TamiyaClub.com, which started back in 2002. It acts like a museum, or maybe a collector's archive.
A museum? How so?
Well, it's very database-driven. You find scan manuals, huge car databases, and the main feature is the showroom.
Ah, for showing off finished cars.
Exactly. Completed, perfect, pristine models. The whole vibe is about, archiving and appreciating the finished product.
Okay, so Tamiya Club is the gallery. But what about the folks who love getting their hands dirty? The building, fixing, modifying. Where did they hang out?
And that's where rc10talk.com slots in. It started a bit later, 2006. And the crucial thing our sources point out is its mission statement.
Yeah.
It was for all vintage RC fans, not just Associated Electronics. That was key. It really became the workshop.
The workshop, I like that. So less gallery, more garage.
Precisely. It's all project-based. You see these incredibly detailed build threads, people documenting restorations, modification projects.
Wow.
Even organizing vintage race meets based on forum discussions. The culture is super collaborative, very hands-on, all about the process.
Ah, okay. So the name RC10 Talk is maybe a bit misleading now, like a historical leftover?
That's exactly it. The name's an artifact. Its real identity evolved,
Yeah.
It became this hub for the whole golden age of RC.
The 70s and 80s stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
Tamiya was just massive back then. So RC10 Talk created this perfect environment for Tamiya restoration.
Because those builders have specific needs, right? Hands-on needs.
Totally. Figuring out subtle differences in parts. Is this an original 80s piece or a modern re-release? Sometimes it's just a tiny stamp or the color of the plastic.
Tricky stuff.
Yeah. And dealing with Tamiya's, let's call them charming flaws, like the Diff and the Frog model. Notoriously fragile.
I've heard about that one. Or the bouncy suspension on some kits.
Exactly, things like that. RC10 Talks project forums are perfect for sharing fixes, workarounds, progress updates. The flaws almost become like a shared challenge.
Fuels community, right?
Yeah.
Bonding over fixing the quirks.
Definitely. And then, our sources highlight the Tamiya re-release boom about the mid-2000s.
Oh, yeah, that must have poured fuel on the fire.
Big time. It brought in this whole new wave of builders. And they wanted to share the entire build, from opening the box to the first run, not just post one photo of the finished car.
So the whole process again.
Right. And that shared journey, hunting for rare bits, dealing with old plastic, solving those design quirks, it just builds really strong bonds, makes RC10 Talk feel incredibly welcoming.
That's a good point. What does welcoming or helpful really mean here? Because it sounds different for each site.
Yeah, thinking bigger picture, welcoming isn't just being nice. It's about having an environment that actually supports what you want to do.
Okay.
So if you're a Tamiya fan building a kit, spending weeks on it, RC10 Talks format with multi-page build threads, that's functionally more welcoming than a single showroom post on Tamiya Club. It fits the activity better.
Gotcha. And helpful splits, too, then.
Exactly. Tamiya Club is like the library, amazing for historical facts,
Yeah.
reference photos, manual scans, authoritative data.
Okay, the library.
But RC10 Talk is the roundtable, discussion. It's where you go mid-project when you stripped a screw or you can't figure out how to fit a modern servo, the steering motor.
Right, real-time problem solving.
Yeah, dynamic peer support. And when you're stuck mid-build, that roundtable help is often way more valuable, more urgent.
So pulling it all together, the Tamiya focus on RC10 Talk wasn't some weird accident.
Not at all. It was organic. Just a perfect matchup between Tamiya's focus on the build experience.
RC10 Talk's workshop-style culture.
And that whole market trend of vintage re-releases, bringing people back into the hands-on side of the hobby. Everything just clicked.
So maybe the big takeaway here is that in these really passionate niche hobbies, it's not always about brand loyalty, is it?
Seems not.
It looks like a shared love for a specific era, like that golden age of RC, or a shared activity like hands-on restoration, that can be way more powerful in bringing people together.
Yeah, it suggests that real community, maybe it's forged less in just admiring the final thing and more in that shared journey of actually making something, figuring things out together, solving problems along the way.
That collaborative creation process. Fascinating stuff.